Amtech Exhibits International of New York Corp. Amtech Exhibits again. That's what it says on Google. I didn't write that in. Here it is. Yeah, I posted those pictures of them. This is their main gate, and yeah, this is where you can actually see the water here. The rest of it looks like it's dry. I mean, that used to get clogged up for years I've been there, but it's not even about that in their operation. Trailer there, sagged to the left. Dangerous as it is. The old Ford, or the old glory, I used to call it. Well, they all were. And then there's Kubishevsky Danielik over there, with the rainbow. That's how it first used to be, right here. All that beer. I think so when I first started working there, And there's get rid of the old beer and whatnot. Part of that fell apart. Not account of my driving, just poor wrapping, poor shrink wrapping over here on the bottom. The guy that did it, he passed away. But I was trying to tell him over and over, look, you gotta do better. If not, I help you do it. I'll do it. Just like, what are you doing, man? Come on. That is me with a shopping cart, because the boxes they had, it's they were old boxes, and they used to put beer that was spoilage or salvaged. We cleaned it up. We would clean it up, and then we would box these 12 ounce, 11.2 ounces or something like that bottles. But it was just untransportable. I already talked about this. This is gonna be I just want to make a story about video about shoveling snow in the winter. With the Kwiatkowskis. Rather Zielinski over there, Andrew. There it is, the big fella. Hands behind back. He's the main one. Anyway, it was a bad winter, and it was like I guess I started sweating or something like that after shoveling snow, because we were coming an hour early, and they had a backhoe. I don't know if the picture's here, and Janusz Kwiatkowski would be on the backhoe, and he would use the front bucket to push the snow to the loading dock right over here or this area. And would shovel the snow, put it on the bucket, and he would go and throw it over here somewhere, or put it aside over there. But anyway, we came an hour early, and that was before we had to prep and then go on the road. But it just like one winter, it was just windy, and I got, I started sweating, and I felt it, underneath my hoodie and stuff. And even my hands, they felt like the bones were just hurting me. So I went inside right here for like 10-15 minutes, just just to warm up. And Andrew Zielinski over there, who I started calling Kirovny, the manager, because he just wanted to boss everybody, just started raging at me, yelling like a lunatic. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? I told him, and I was like, listen, I'm cold or something like that. The other guy, I think Shen, was like, I'm charging my phone. That's why I'm here. I'm like, well, I'm charging my phone too, but it's like, why the fuck are you even yelling? And, Andrew over there, Zielinski, what he used to do, he had like a little landscaping bucket, and one of those you push, it has a rotating thing in there, and basically it's for seating, It's like a 2 feet or even less than 2 feet, small little plastic bucket. He would walk around with salt, and he would just walk around with it like that for a couple minutes, And he would walk back inside, like a boss that he was in his mind. And we just had a real big issue, It's like, I told you, I was like, why don't you tell him something, What the fuck is that about, man? Who the fuck you think he is, Be a man, be a manager about it, Just aggravating me. And it was just ridiculous, And I get it, not that they should hire people to show their snow, which would be nice. But you know what? I'm not gonna use this excuse small company, because they make good money. They do. But it's like there's 4, 5, 6 of us, and it's like, yeah, I get it, we got a shovel, but it just, I'm not gonna be yelled at. Put it that way, And the fact that maybe it could have been done the day before, maybe not. I don't know what time it stopped snowing, so I get that. It's just that it was ridiculous. And I don't have to explain myself. I'm not gonna be out there freezing my ass off because Andrew Zielinski over there, he got anger issues or he just want to push people around, or maybe it was about something else. And it's like a lot of times he spent there watching me when I was doing something. I spoke my mind to the last. I just didn't. I couldn't care less. It's not just micromanagement. He's not a manager, but even then, it's like you probably shouldn't do that. You don't trust your workers, your employees. What are you doing then? Fire somebody. Coincidentally, he got fired for I think that's what he told me, just misplacing a bunch of pallets, and then they were putting out in the store, and it was like it only had like a month, 2 months or something to get expired. But actually, those they left. They didn't know where to find them. The ones they were putting on were like 7 or 8 months before their expiration date. So and then they had like 6 or 7 pallets that uh, were pretty much going to be expired like a month or so. So I guess they lost a lot of money, right? Or maybe they just put them out in the store. Regardless, anyway, there's a lot of different things going on with Kwiatkowski and Zielinski over there. They were butting heads. Later, yeah, Janusz, as Andre started calling him, at least, that's what he started calling after he got fired. Uh, he started like putting Andre down like he's a moron, debil, an idiot or something like that. I'm like, weren't you guys like kind of close this and that? Then I found out, like I actually eventually find out that I just couldn't stand him anymore. I think the only well, he could stand a lot of other people, but Andrew over there was just like I don't know, bossing around this and that, and it was just like it got to the point where like they had to we had to scrub off the expiration date or serial numbers of the kegs. Yeah, that's probably illegal, but no one cares, right? But Andrew over there didn't figure out that if you put uh like pure alcohol, right, rubbing alcohol on a cloth, you could just smear it off in a second or two, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. He was sitting there rubbing with the cloth for like 2 or 3 minutes on one keg, and he would take the kegs off the pallets, like because I want to know which ones I did. Well, why don't you just go 3, 2, 3? It was 8 kegs on a pallet or something like that. But it doesn't matter. Just like, well, you did this one, go there, just go to the next one. Like, well, what do you got to do? He was just like, it was just bizarre. I mean, yeah, I told Janusz Kwiatkowski about that. I just look what he's doing. I'm like, I'm not. What do you want me to do? He's gonna start raging at me and give me an attitude. You think I'm gonna take that crap? There's a lot of things like that. And after all, yeah, I did point out about the Lejais. It was a blue Lejais. I was like, yeah, listen, man, why is this date that date? A couple times, even Janusz over there realized like this guy, couldn't differentiate certain beers. He told him bring me a pallet because we had to prep. We were put in a certain area, like over here. Over here, and this is the old Warka bottle, but we would put pallets here and we would prep right behind there. It was like a corridor. He just started bringing he would bring me like the wrong kind of beer. Like I asked him for the Warka Red, he would bring me Warka Strong. And there was these two beers that were like cans or bottles. It was different size. He almost always brought the wrong one. And I was like, and it's the wording they had too. Like they would say worms are small, and I'm like, oh, which worms are small? Like the cans or it was just the wording, but he just couldn't grasp. He couldn't grasp on very simple things. Uh, yeah, and the thing was, I'm not saying we butted heads, me and Andre, from the beginning, but it was just we would drive and he would always just get scared about bridges, especially the one that was like quarter mile, half a mile away from the warehouse. And it's like, bro, it's like the fourth time we're going under with the same truck. Like, short-term memory disorder, or you just fucking crazy. Like, I couldn't understand it, so I started messing with him, just one time. I was like, I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, you're right. Oh, well, you know what? We're already here. Fuck it, let's go. He's like, that's something cool. I mean, it was just weird. It's like, like why are you like? Do you don't remember that bridge? And also, it's like, it says 12-9. The truck isn't an 18-wheeler. But I get it though, when you're driving a box truck, and especially those were driving, maybe you just can't, have that concept. But it was the same freaking underpass. It was just a lot of things like that. The first time me and Andrew there, we were driving. Like he got me aggravated because I wanted to take this route 21. And the turnpike, it was just certain time, it was just flooded with traffic, even up to the entrance. So I was in the middle lane. He's like, "Well, right there, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I was like, "Fuck!" And I didn't just like skid all the way. I slowed down. I went to there, and I was like, "What the fuck you doing?" or something. I didn't even say that because uh, the same day, he actually, actually before that, he told me, "Hey, why don't you come over my house to drink beer?" So I was like, if I tell him off, I'm like, it's gonna be weird. I'm gonna go to his house for a beer real quick, or I should have said, like, I don't want to go anymore. But it was like, we just started working there. I'm like, fuck, that beer's gonna taste kind of weird now. So I just didn't say anything. I got quiet, and then I talked to Kowski about that. He's like, well, why didn't you tell him something like that? You know, and eventually I told him so, he stopped, but he would still do these little things. Like I remember last time we were driving, and I was like, I was going to take an exit a little bit farther because there was less traffic to come back from Elizabeth to Linden, which was, like under a mile or something like that. And he just go, well, don't do that. What if they find out? What if they, I'm like, Jesus, bro, like I don't need this stuff, man. Like really, this is like ridiculous. And yeah, they had a lot of stuff over there, like glasses and like shirts and hoodies and stuff. Uh, Actually, in the one place, it was just the glasses. I would ask Fikowski over there, can I get glasses for the store as a promo? Because that's what they were for. And he got aggravated when I would go walk up there, and like the previous manager, Adam Novak, he would do the same thing. Like he yelled at me, raged at me for going there. And I didn't even go for the glasses. I went there to look at on the stairway to the roof. Or maybe I lied, but I don't think so. It's just like, what the fuck is your obsession? And I told him, like, you think I'm gonna steal this? I could go online and buy nicer glasses than the Julia's glasses, man. Seriously, like, it's not about that. What's going on with your head? And Andre kind of felt that too. It was like it was his, or like he was protecting or something. You know. And then he just became very bitter. Started telling me all these things. It's like, not that why didn't you tell me all these things, but he was letting me on know earlier. He was letting me on earlier what criminal things that are going on, this and that. Not everything, but just a few. But it's like, it's like everyone has their, inadequacies, deficiencies, whatever. But it's like, you're gonna yell at me for like, going to something that gives a story, like, go screw you. Or yell at me for not, freezing my hands off, right? And, the fact is that, I did go to Andrew's or Andre's house like 2 or 3 times. We talked this and that. Um, it's like, it's very odd. And I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm the one that called him or like his wife died. I don't know if Gakowski ever called him. I don't know if they were talking. It's not even about that. That's kind of a serious matter there. Somebody passes away. But I'm not gonna take your abuse during work. You know, I let him know that a couple times. After a while, like he didn't even talk to me for a long period of time before he got fired. Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to talk to you then. You're gonna drive around in your little, what you would call it? I almost said scooter or something. I don't know that. More like a skateboard, electric skateboard. No, it was a forklift. He was riding a forklift. You drive straight. And he just look at me and look like that. Just look around. Sometimes he would slow down, and just stand there looking at me. I'm like, don't you gotta go somewhere? Why don't you just go and do something? And then other people would just kiss his butt. Oh, we're just playing. Can we love you? Like, how the fuck you gonna say that when you love him or something? Like, he's irritating you, right? So why you kissing his ass? Why you scared of him? You know. I just didn't believe in that. And he got me aggravated that one time, in winter shoveling snow, before I get on the route. I mean, it was just, it was pointless. Maybe there was other things said before that, this and that. But listen, you gotta say something to be about that, not get angry and enraged about, me coming in for, to warm up, so my hands don't freeze. You know. But yeah, as far as did he work with the hand truck, yeah, he moved around. We never had really that much work, only like around holidays or something like that. And yeah, he got back. He did work long days to some extent. He would argue with me a couple times that he came here to work before me. I'm like, you're lying, right? So I was like, this is this. I took a selfie the first day, and also it's why don't you ask Janusz Kwiatkowski there? Why don't you ask Januszek over there when I worked? And he just, Janusz covered down like, yeah, he worked there, like scared of him, intimidated by him. Is that even a secret? Does it even matter who got there before who? Is that really important? Is that the most necessary thing? And then I think, I don't know, him or somebody else. I think it was him. He said that he worked more hours than me. Like I don't even care, man. Like, why is that fucking relevant? Compare hours now. You know, it was just very odd. And other people, they talk about him like he used to come in and work the latest out of all of us. He would come in like at 9 o'clock, which isn't that much of a big deal to me because he would work on the warehouse. He has his work. I have my work. I actually didn't want him to come and help me prep. From the beginning, I was like, nah, I don't want him. He has his own mindset. It's like I gotta explain this to him, this, that. And a lot of times when he prepped, it was just unorganized. It was just not well. It just didn't sit well. I couldn't care less. Just like don't do the micromanagement. Pretend like you're watching over me and like I don't know what I'm doing, and you're gonna fix everything. Another big thing with him was about like nasty, not just stale beer, but gross beer with like, fungus or mold or something. And he would put that in stores all the way to upstate New York. I told Janusz over there, I was like, listen, man, like, he's telling me to put that, they're not going to take it. He's like, just put it on there. We don't have any more of that. We got to get rid of it. Like, we don't have any more of that, so what? Why don't you stick a shit in it and just, give it in a cup? I mean, where's your fucking mentality at? And the one store I think was Latham. And I told the guy, look at this. Would you want this? He's like, no, I don't. That's disgusting. Those are the beer. They're not like that. And I took it back. And then like, well, just put it back where you got it, Luke. What are you so upset about? Upset about is that I'm fucking trying to prep. I know I don't want to put that as you give nasty, dirty beer to customer. You give me an attitude. You give me an attitude because your little boyfriend over there, is running your show and you don't want to stand up to. You don't want to do your work. You don't care. So why the fuck you even hire me for? Well, why don't you just, do the same dumb shit, like break beer cans over and, I don't know, just not come in whenever I fucking want to or leave it at 1. Because daddy over there, is a manager, you know? And it's like, you get someone aggravated before they drive like 3.5 hours, And then you prove your point and just gives you a fucking attitude that you're bothering him because, he's watching soccer and shit at 4 p.m. and shit on the internet at work. Don't bother me, you're doing right. Like, what is that crap? Like, who wants to put up with that shit? And you're gonna take me to court for annoying you? I mean, give me a fucking break. You're an idiot. You're all fucking idiots. You have no responsibility. You have no work character. I could go on and on. I'm not gonna be aggravated and abused by you. You did that for fucking years. And then you try to say this other guy, he's like my dad or something. You kept going on for weeks and months. I told you, shut the fuck up. I mean, he probably still would have went on. And he started saying, oh, the manager, Kwiatkowski, they started saying, oh, you forget, like, the Yannick over there, you don't have memory of anything. Like, go fuck yourself. You're the one with clothes and you shit your pants. I don't even know till your little friend Daniel Krzyzewski started laughing at you and, mocking you. But I'm the asshole. And honestly, it was just gross. Like, we're prepping, and he's like, 30, 40 feet away. And then he's like, well, you didn't know? He shits his pants. He just, look how he's walking. I was like, wow, that's freaking creepy, man. Like, is it that garlic you be eating, it was just garlic on an empty stomach for like weeks? I mean, maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe you should have left the milk. I'm a dietitian. I'm probably going to be an a-hole trying to give him advice or something. I mean, I could go on and on. This is about Andrew. The whole crew was just, out of their freaking mind sometimes, A lot of these guys, I mean, you can't even tell them anything, It's not like I was trying to, put them down. It's like, do your freaking job, I'm in stores a couple times. They're like, oh, put the beer here And then, like, they left it there, left it in another place. Like, no, well, the previous manager told us to put it here. I said, I don't want to pick it up anymore. Like, well, you have 5 or 6 cases, even 12. Just fucking pick it up and move it. How important is your life that you don't want to do this? If you don't want to do this, go. Somebody else will come and do it. And it's like, and they all like hide for each other. It's like, one time Kikowski over there, Yanush, like, he was on the phone, and he's like, oh, they went to some store in Trent, Lawrenceville. Oh, they got, oh, you shouldn't know that. I don't know if it was true or not, because I asked them, and they're like, oh, no, no, no. But it's like they didn't want to put beer and started arguing with people because they want to move it over. I mean, like, why the fuck would you even argue with someone? Even if, like, they messed up and they told you to put it in the wrong place, it's not like you're moving 300, 400 freaking cases of beer to another spot, And I mean, the arrogance some of these people, what jobs they had before, oh, man. You would think they're like, wow, well, you're wasting your life here. You should go back there or do something else like that. You make more money. And it's like, not that I want to complain about this before. It's like, well, I mean, what am I supposed to do and stuff? If I was a supervisor or something, they would get told something, and eventually they have to leave, One guy was there, like, after, like, years, they hired not a Polish person. Actually, the second person they hired that wasn't Polish. But the first one was an ass kiss and just a total doofus. I mean, a total freaking idiot. This guy just brought a wrong container from the port to the warehouse, and then he returned and they just try to lie about it. Don't say anything. Like, why did he tell me? He was scared. Like, I mean, wow. Just nobody cares there either. What if they got the container just emptied or something, and they said, well, we didn't get it. I mean, who knows what they could have done? But it's not even about that. It's just like the level of, I don't want to say stupidity, but just lack of reasoning for some of these people, including the guy with the container. His name is Eddie, but oh wow, man. I mean, this guy needed a GPS to know how fast he was going off an exit ramp, and he was going like 30. He slowed down like very quickly to like 20. Well, if I didn't have that, we didn't know. I mean, I was like, wow, are you serious? Like, are you on drugs right now or some shit? I couldn't believe it. And this guy, he had a CDL and stuff. I'm like, what are you gonna do with an 18-wheeler, man? Like, how dangerous that would have been. One guy got angry at me because I said the other guy was like the best driver in the company, and he just gave me like a hard look or something, and I thought he was, but then I don't want to call myself an idiot. The guy said he was the best driver, almost crashed like 2 times, just exiting the highway. He would race dump trucks. I mean, I guess you gotta be a race car driver to attempt to race the dump truck with like angel wings on it. Like, that should tell you not to fuck with it. I don't know. There was a lot of stories there, though. A lot of stories. Yeah. I just it just I don't know. It's just aggravation. A lot of times just keep my mouth shut and just keep my head down. But then it's like they ridiculed you even more. For not saying anything. It's like, you have to stand up for yourself. It's like the best thing I could have done back then, recorded people and just put it on YouTube, or send an email to their, little Brooklyn office with videos and a link to my YouTube and Twitter and all that, like I'm doing now. Because, like, fuck you. Fuck you.